What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 74 of the Sonic Movie Show, the only show that's about Sonic news, and Sonic movie news. My name is Ethan. With me, as always, is Devin.
I don't got a quote.
We got a big episode planned for you guys today. We have so many things. We discussed all of this before recording. Now there's not really much anything else to say, but there's new stuff. There's plenty of movies, plenty of TV shows, plenty of video games.
Always.
Yeah. There's that Marvel thing going on.
Something about that.
You know how they're setting it up, by the way. After 2 weeks after this fucking final episode shows, which will have already aired by the time this comes up, like 2 weeks after that, like the next show starts.
I know. It's like
they're 2 weeks after that ends, the next show starts. Like they set it up. People will not be unsubscribing.
No.
Right? People dropped off after Mandalorian. Then they came back for Mandalorian. Then they dropped off. Then they came back again for Black.
Yeah, now they have it set up where you just can't leave.
Right.
Consumerism.
And they raised the price, by $1. But no, it's just... And there's so many, like, honestly, like, we did our episode a while back about, like, just being overwhelmed yet unenthused about Star Wars.
Yeah. And
nothing made me feel more like, ugh. Just back in December when I watched that Disney keynote thing about Disney Plus and look at all the stuff we're making, where here's 10 graphic logos for our new Star Wars shows coming to Disney Plus, and I'm like, a side story about this and a side story about that. I don't want to watch any of this stuff, but like there'll be a flashy trailer and be like, it's only $8 a month. I'll keep Disney Plus. I don't watch anything else but the shows. I'm spending $8 a month to watch WandaVision. You think about that for a second. I personally paid $8 for January and February to watch WandaVision. That's it. $16 total to watch the show.
It's all your fault, dude.
It is my... Now, granted, there's a wide girth of content. I could watch other things.
But that's the thing with content now. It's content.
I don't want to.
It's like you can give me like it's like a zoo, but it's like they're like, hey, you pay $8 to get in the zoo, right? Anytime you want, you can come to the zoo anytime you want. We have one good animal, and all the other animals is like fucking pigeons, shit you see outside normally. Is it because there's a wide variety? It's because there's a whole quantity of pigeons, and then one cool like animal.
Hey, there could even be cool animals. Like I have a subscription to PlayStation Now. I downloaded like 3 games that I played, and I downloaded a shit ton more and I haven't touched them. I tried streaming a few things. That didn't work out for me. I had Game Pass for my PC. Microsoft's Xbox Game Pass for PC.
Hell yeah.
Fucking played Halo 1. And that's it. You know what I mean? I could have fucking bought that somewhere. I paid $10 a month for 5 months to play Halo 1 twice. You know what I mean? But I'm like, oh, cool, I could play Gears of War, and I could play Ori and the Blind Forest, and I can play fucking the pirate game that they made.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Right?
What's that called again?
Sea of Thieves.
Is it good?
It's a great title about pirates.
Thieves of Seas.
Pirates. The Seeds of Thievery.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is with all this stuff. Paramount Plus is a thing of like, yeah, cool. Like, I could fucking watch a SpongeBob prequel thing about his friend.
It's good for the kids.
I could. But am I really that nostalgic for SpongeBob? All the Paramount Plus stuff is like, hey, Zoomers, remember Rugrats? No. Well, they look bad now, so here you go.
No, because they were not, like, Rugrats is our generation, if anything.
But that's the thing, is like, CBS, Paramount Plus, NBC with Peacock
Plus,
all the things that they're like, all the things that they're like revitalizing and bringing back and making sequels of. It's like stuff that no one watches now because it's from older generation stuff. It's not going to get kids into that. No one gives a shit. Like, Disney's doing it good because people watch MCU and Star Wars stuff now, so they can be like, oh yeah, To All the Boys I've Loved Before is getting a sequel movie, you know what I mean, on Disney Plus. Or like High School Musical 3, the musical, the movie, or whatever, that was one of the things that launched with the High School Musical thing, right?
Yeah.
That's like kids our generation watched those in high school. I never did. I'm throwing that up there right now.
I wasn't going to judge you if you did. I don't care.
You should have if I said yes. But no, I'm kidding. It's okay. Like what you like. But you can hate things too. It's okay to hate things.
Yeah, like Pokemon.
I was going to segue into something else, but yeah, well, there's Pokemon.
You can clearly tell, listener, that we really had a good plan tonight of what to talk about.
You know, the thing I love, I play fighting games.
Do you know?
I do. And one of the best things about it is seeing people argue over tier lists. Who's the best character? Well, these two characters are pretty evenly tied. They're clearly better than everyone else. They're the S tier, right? Now here's the A tier, the B tier, right?
Yeah.
People like making tier lists for which let's rank all the video game controllers. While in the S tier, you clearly have the this and this and this, going down, right? Someone made a tier list about how obnoxious certain facts of Nintendo fans are. Here are the F-Zero fans that know they're never going to get another game again, and they're okay with that. They're content. They have their memories. What's dead can't hurt you anymore.
Exactly.
And it goes down and down. At the very top of this list, or I guess it was actually at the bottom, because the worst is at the bottom, so the worst fans are at the bottom.
Yeah.
It was labeled pure gluttons. They could have all the riches in the world and still want more. And it's fucking Super Smash Brothers, Splatoon, Pokemon. There's new Pokemon games every year. Big ones, small ones, free ones for your phone, expensive things. There's so many Pokemon things everywhere. And no one's ever happy.
Literally Pokemon Go, Pokemon movies, TV shows.
No one's happy because they can do nothing right. And then they need to make petitions about how they need to literally... There was when Sword and Shield came out, and good God forbid, there's almost 1,000 Pokemon in the series now, and not every single one of them has a character model in the fucking new engine that they're running on the game. So that means they're just trying to get more money out of us. And they're bad at making games, so we're going to make a petition to fire Game Freak. What the fuck does that mean? The fuck does that mean? Pokemon needs to be in the hands of someone else.
I like the idea of Mr. Nintendo walking into Game Freak's office. Or no, sorry. He's going to call Game Freak to come to his office. Mr. Game Freak. Mr. Game Freak walks in and he's like, "Sir, there was a petition of 1,000 people who said that
they want you
fired. And unfortunately, I'm going to listen to this 1,000 people here over the millions and millions and millions of dollars I get every year from this dumb pocket monster shit that you make."
The best part is petitions like that and the arguments like that are people that don't understand who owns Pokemon. Nintendo owns a third of the company that owns Pokemon. Game Freak owns another third of... Nintendo doesn't own Game Freak.
Doesn't matter. Nintendo's going to say,
Pokemon.
"You're fired. Get out of here."
You know what I mean? But kids don't understand that. Because every game is on Nintendo's unless it's free ones on phones, and for some reason they pretend those don't exist. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I have come to the conclusion, for my own sanity, I will play a new Pokemon generation game. Assuming that, let's say they made a third version for Sword and Shield. Or actually, the past two generations, they did, doubles. Where it wasn't, Sun and Moon and then Stars. It was Sun and Moon and then Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Double dipping twice, essentially. Let's say they did that with Sword and Shield. Instead, they made, just DLC for the game you already have.
Pokemon Bigger Shield. Pokemon Bigger...
No, it's Pokemon Gun. That's what you want.
I just want them to name it Bigger. They're like, it's just bigger.
I don't buy it. I'm not going to buy these third versions anymore. I'll buy the next new generation, and then a few years later, I'll buy another one. But I can't be buying Pokemon every year. I can't be buying all the spin-offs. I liked Pokemon Snap as a kid. I don't know if I'll get the new one.
I totally forgot about that.
Just don't
totally
know.
forgot
I don't
think
think
that
it's
was
going to hit
out.
the same notes that
it
made
won't.
me like the original.
Even if it does, even if it's 10 times better than Pokemon Snap, it's the best photography video game ever made. Revolutionary.
It's not going to make kids happy.
Yeah, because they'll be like, "What the fuck is this?"
The best part about Nintendo fans, they're filled with children which I love it, right? New blood all the time. Every year there's going to be new kids getting into Pokemon or Nintendo anything, right? But my favorite thing is, we as adults that used to play Nintendo games back in the 90s, right? Maybe not like something that they're doing now and want them to bring back something, or like maybe they make a sequel to a popular game series that you like that comes out once every like 10 years or so. And it's just not the same as it used to be. So you complain about it because you played those games or whatever. My favorite thing is seeing literal children make those complaints. Like, motherfucker, you were not alive when the GameCube was a thing. You have no idea what it was like to play Paper Mario on the GameCube back then. Things hit differently now, but my favorite Nintendo fans are just the children that pretend that they know what they're talking about. Now, as a man-child that likes to pretend that he knows what he's talking about, my opinions are more important, and that's why I want to say that I'm super excited for the Nintendo Switch 2 or the Nintendo Switch Pro. I'm super excited about paying $300 or potentially $400 for a system that I will play 4 or 5 games on. That's a generous figure, and go back to playing games on a PlayStation or something like that. I love handing money off to other people. I just do. I want my stimulus check.
I am
so
a
I
consumer.
Can give it to someone else.
It's like an infomercial.
Know, right?
You'd be. That's all you have to say. I am the consumer. I give you money for stuff.
Nothing makes me happier than getting a paycheck and immediately buying that paycheck's worth of stuff on things I don't need.
Exactly. Yep. Nothing.
Like Disney Plus subscription.
Yeah. And that's why I work 5 jobs. It's just for all the Nintendo games. Just kidding. I mean, the Switch news, I guess, for me was just kind of like, I'll bring it from perspective of, you got the Switch day one. Not everyone I knew, but a lot of people got it day one, or like got it within the first year.
Or tried to.
First year or two, right? When did it come out again? What was it,
4 years ago as of yesterday. March 3rd, 2017.
So, okay, it was a little later than I thought. I thought it was 2016. But for me, I didn't get it until 2019. And the reason I waited mostly was, one, I didn't know how much I was going to play games on it. 2, money. 3, I was like, there was all these rumors for like forever, honestly, it felt like, where it was just like, the Switch 2 is around the corner. The Switch 2
Switch
Pro is around the corner. Because after, Sony dropped their PS4 Pro, Xbox dropped their newer version of the
Xbox One X.
Whatever the goddamn title is. Too confusing. And like there was like, I feel like there was a pressure on Nintendo to be like, okay, like, yeah, the Switch just came out, but we need to make a newer, slightly better version that maybe not has 4K, but like better battery life, bigger screen, those kind of things. Better frame rate or something. I don't know. That kind of stuff. Yeah, and I was like, and I kept waiting, and eventually I just got it. I actually got it because I was like, oh, because I got it in late 2019, so I've had it for...
You've had it for 2 years? Oh, no, a year and a half.
Year, maybe in a couple months, yeah. Because I got it in like October or something. I got it because I was like, I'm going to catch up on all these Nintendo games, or all these games I want to play portably. I'm just going to play it at work because I have 2 breaks and a lunch. Even if I only play it for 2 breaks, that's 30 minutes a day, times 5, like a couple hours a week. Like I can get some games. You let me borrow Super Mario Odyssey, and I played 30, 40 hours of that through the month.
Awesome game.
The month and a half that I got. And then then the pandemic hit, and I'm like, oh, it's okay. I'll still play it. And then now it's just been sitting in the dock. I did get new Joy-Cons. I did play Super Mario Party at one point and Mario Kart. I'm like, that's cool. But like, I played it for maybe 5 hours. It was fun. It's a fun game. And that's my issue with Nintendo, personally. Not saying it's bad or anything, but just like, spend that much money on something and then only play it in 1 or 2 sittings is kind of like, I know I shouldn't compare it to this, but like, or I shouldn't compare it like that, but I don't know. To me, I'm like $60 for even $40 sometimes. I only played 2 hours worth. I'm just like, I don't know. I don't like, you know what I mean. I could spend this money elsewhere on something else.
That
You know
is
what I
true.
mean? So like
Right.
that was kind of my issue or one of my concerns of getting it. And now it's like it has been sitting for a while because I have the PlayStation there. So my breaks on lunch
Yeah.
or my breaks and lunch from work, I'm either just going 10 feet to my couch and playing a PlayStation game. Like, well, I'm like, why boot up my Switch and all that when I can just play the game here?
I will say, but you are right. I mean, for your experience, like I understand, the Switch is designed on its system level to be super lightweight and instantaneous. The thing just boots up immediately.
Yeah.
You pick a game and the game boots up immediately. Like the barriers are very minimal. Because there have been times where I'm like, for PlayStation, I'm like, I have like an hour before work. I really want to like grab my PlayStation controller, turn it on, and go through the menu, and then pick a game, and then load in. But like for the Switches, like I just put in sleep mode or something like that. So like, it is a different feeling. It does feel like you could just have it be sitting on your table while you're working from home, and then like, you just pick it right up and you're immediately back in the game.
I mean,
So
maybe it's the
that,
games
but
I have, but like at the same time, I did have a good use out of it when I first got it. Like I played Celeste as well. I played what else did I play? I played like I said, I played Mario Kart.
Well, I mean, you could borrow another game from me.
Well,
I have a whole
that's the
bunch.
thing is like, and I even got Witcher 3, which is like
That's right.
I'm like this game. I got it on sale for like $20, and like I understand
Yeah.
it wasn't going to be like the pinnacle Witcher 3 version, but I'm like I'm going to play this when I travel. I'm going to play this at work. I remember I got it right before the pandemic started, around that time, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to play this, and I played a lot of it right in the beginning. And then like I went, I used it on a plane. And I'm like, okay, this is cool. Like I'm playing Witcher, and like the time flew by. Like this 6-hour flight turned into, it felt like a couple hours because I was just doing some quests in The Witcher, right? And then like, but when I came back home, I'm just like, or I can play Mortal Kombat on my PlayStation.
It just depends.
Yeah, and so
For me, it's just what the games are.
Yeah.
Like
I'm just
when,
not someone who like. I think me and you, that's how we differ. I like my like PlayStation controller games. I like my. I don't know. Like it's hard to describe, but like I think Switch 2 is like you either play a Nintendo game or like either an indie game. It feels like for me.
Yeah.
And like sometimes I'm more interested in the AAA games. Not saying I have anything against indie games. I do like some indie games, but I'd rather play Mortal Kombat. I could play a couple matches. Oh, spend 15 minutes. Okay, let me go back to work. Or I also just play. I just sit on my phone. I'm like I could just pull up my phone
the thing that not a whole lot of people realize about Nintendo, even though it's very obvious, Nintendo is a medium-sized software development company. They are not as big as Ubisoft. They don't have nearly as many people employed as Activision does or EA, right? Nintendo is maybe slightly smaller than Sony in terms of how many people they have employed working at their company making their own games. Now Nintendo also like they hire what you might call like a second party studio, a company that Nintendo doesn't own that hires them to make Nintendo games.
Yeah.
Right? Like Luigi's Mansion 3 was made by Next Level Games, a Canadian company that Nintendo actually bought recently because like they were like about to file for bankruptcy or something like that. Nintendo just swooped in and purchased them. But Nintendo doesn't have they don't have the money, the people. I mean, they have money, but they don't have the money essentially to be spinning too many plates up at once. That's why when they had the Wii U and 3DS, some years had really good 3DS games and bad Wii U, like the droughts, and vice versa, right? And okay, there you have the Switch, it's all one, but like for the most part, they are supplementing in these droughts, these dead zones of no big releases with a Wii U port or a really cheap to manufacture like port of an older game, or like here's this like, and then there's a big thing and then there's not, right? They really do work in like the rumors are, and it's like basically all but confirmed. People know it exists. Since like the end of 2017, they've had a HD trilogy collection of Metroid Prime 1, 2, and 3. They have it. It's done. They're waiting until like they need to release something and they have nothing. Then they'll put that out, right? But not everything. My point is that they, it's hard for them to even do that on its own. Nintendo has so many different like groups of fans that they just can't. There will be a year where nothing they can make is something that you're interested in. Last year was that for me. Like, yeah, there was like another like Dynasty Warriors Zelda game type of
Animal
thing.
Crossing.
I don't really care. There's Animal Crossing, but like I played 100 hours of that game, so I don't want to hear shit from people online.
Oh no, yeah.
I jumped. No, I'm not saying you are, but like I jumped off before summer hit. I jumped off during like Easter, I think. I played 100 hours of that game. I'm done. I don't think I actually really enjoyed my time all that much. It was just weirdly what I was into at that point, right? And the pandemic kind of like made that game 26 million units sold. I'm sure it probably outsold Mario Kart by now. It's probably number one. It's not even a year old, which is insane. Like Nintendo can't make Zelda games every year that speak to me. They can't make, like they'll never be able to do that. So for me, the Nintendo consoles are always the secondary one where it's like when they do come out with a game that speaks to me, that's all I want to play. But for the most part, my Switch sits there like it did all year. I played the new Paper Mario, didn't play very much of it because I got bored. And I think the game's okay. Music's good. Got bored. I played the Mario 3D All-Stars thing in like December, I think. That was it. Those are the only two games I bought last year for Switch. Oh, and Animal Crossing, but that was a gift.
Yeah, I bought
So
Witcher
I didn't
3
really
in April or whatever it was, and then that was...
I mean, you got Final Fantasy X.
Well, the thing is, I
HD
think what I'm going to do is try to
remaster.
force myself to do it. I mean, I think we're both like this, where we're like, you play something and that's your grind for like a couple weeks, right? I've been still chewing away at like Cyberpunk on PlayStation, like that, and I don't have that much time to play games because either I'm streaming, working, doing other stuff, and watching movies and TV, WandaVision, all this, and doing all this stuff, and like all of a sudden I'm like, I only have 3 hours to play a game, and I'm like, I feel like a game like Cyberpunk, I want to make sure I try to stay within a certain amount of like I didn't play like anything from like January to February, so I'm like, let me jump back in now because if I don't do it now, it's not gonna happen
You're
again.
never going back.
Yeah, so like I jumped in, I'm like, okay, I still remember most of the stuff. I figured out how to play again, so I wasn't too far off to where I was like, I don't even know where to start what I was doing. I'm like, okay, I remember where I was. So like my goal is to just at least get through the main story, probably, or keep doing what I'm doing and have fun with it. But that's the thing with Switch is like, I keep going back and forth. I'm like, once I pick it up, like, well, then I not be playing that because just based off how I spend my time usually. Yeah. But to be fair, I'm also been I've become obsessed with chess in the last year, and like that's what I do on my breaks. I'll play 1 or 2 games of 10-minute game chess, and like I've gotten really into it. And it's like that's on my phone. You know what I mean? Like maybe if there was a chess on Switch, maybe I would play it, but probably not since there's a nice chess app on iPhone.
I mean, it's
you know what I mean. But I do want to play more Switch stuff.
Yeah.
Like I do want to try Final Fantasy. I do want to try Final Fantasy X again. And
did you actually start it?
Yeah, I played like an hour or two. Yeah.
Okay.
I fought a octopus or something, some sea creature.
Okay. Yeah.
I remember that.
Maybe start it over. I don't know, but like, I mean that game's really good. That's in my top 10 favorite games of all time.
I mean, it's just like sometimes I just like it takes me a little bit to gel with something too. But it is also Witcher 3. I remember where I left off. I got stuck in this cave and I had to find something to like stop these bugs from coming out of this hole. And I'm like, I don't know where to find this stuff. This is a very heavy, dense RPG. I don't know where to find this stuff. And I'm like, oh, I'll look it up. And then I haven't touched it since. Because I'm like, I haven't looked it up because I can't go anywhere. But yeah, I don't know. And that's me with like the PS5. I was like, so like, I'm going to get it. And then like once I figured out I wasn't going to get it anytime soon, I'm like, you know what? I'm like, this is probably for the better because I bought the Switch, played it for like 4 months solid, and then kind of like slowly have dipped away. So I'm like, let me play with the stuff I do have. Let me play my Cyberpunk, my Mortal Kombat, my other games I have on PS4. I think I know we could talk about a little bit too is Nier Replicant. It comes out in April. I'm like, that's my next game. I might get.
There are so many games coming out in April that I want. That I'm like, oh,
And that's
man,
on PS4 too, right?
I
It's
really
only
need
not only
yeah,
on PS4,
PS,
but you know,
PS4, Xbox One. Yeah, it's not a PS5 only thing.
so like that's one of
Yeah,
the reasons
no,
I'm like,
I
okay,
really want my
like,
stimulus check because there's 4 games I pre-ordered that come out in April. I need that money, otherwise I'm gonna have to cancel some of them. But
so yeah, like I'm gonna just play games. Then once maybe April rolls around, I mean, I might not get it day one, but like within that week, I'll go to GameStop and just grab a copy or something. You know what I mean? And like that's kind of where I'm at. Where it's like that's why if a Switch 2 comes out, even let's say at best like this summer, I think it'll be like fall, winter, maybe even next year, depending on how the pandemic goes. Maybe they'll see how.
Well, I mean,
crazy the PS4 or PS5 and Xbox sold online and all that.
If the Switch Pro is just because here's the thing, like when people talk about a Switch Pro, they're assuming it is, and I understand like we just got leaked stuff, but like take a step back, think about the conversations in 2019 when you were waiting to get one. People kept talking about it like the PlayStation 4 Pro and Xbox One X. Game like a system that was significantly more powerful enough, and had better, faster RAM, more things enough that it could output things at higher frame rates or go into 4K resolutions and all that. Right? People expecting that with the Switch Pro is it going to be able to do, but Nintendo's done Pro systems before. The Game Boy Color was one. The DSi was another. The new Nintendo 3DS. The model of 3DS that has new in the name. That is not literally a new one. I mean, it is when it came out, because it was new then. New Nintendo 3DS. But every single one of those times, yes, there was a tiny, tiny bit of a processor bump. And in the case of Game Boy Color, there was exclusive games, like Pokemon Crystal. In the case of new Nintendo 3DS, there was like 5. And none of them you needed. Minecraft was one of them, believe it or not. If you had a regular 3DS, you couldn't play Minecraft. You needed the new Nintendo 3DS.
Huh.
And like the DSi had its digital store. So in order to play it, obviously, because that was connected to the internet, right? But every single time they do that, it's like, oh, those are a thing. But there's nothing really exclusive to it or even enough to justify its existence. But the Nintendo Pro things that do justify their existence that come out are just like hey, here's a DS with a bigger screen. Here's a 3DS with a better battery life. The 3DS XL, it's a bigger screen 3DS. The resolution's the same. It's just stretched. Your 240p image that went from this to now a bigger rectangle, stretched, but hey, it's bigger, right? 3D is bigger now on it. Cool.
Yeah.
Those sell really well. My expectation for the Switch Pro was literally just going to be that. It's going to be a Switch with maybe it's a 1080p screen. Maybe it fits, like the size of the machine will be the same, but the screen will be bigger in it, will fill up the bezel more.
Maybe it'll be like a hair thicker or something, because it has
something, a better battery, because
more memory, internal memory maybe in it. Something,
because like here's the thing, and this is especially true now that I have the PS5. And people have been writing about this once the PS5 and Xbox Series X came out. I saw one very interesting article that said the PlayStation 4 Pro and the Xbox One X ruined what would have been the magic of PlayStation 5 and Series X. Because those systems did 4K, okay, but really it only shines on these new systems. Like, yes, the Xbox One X could play games at native 4K, and the PlayStation 4 Pro checkerboarded it. But even then, like, the Xbox One X things in native 4K took massive hits to make it work like that.
Yeah.
So it wasn't exactly the same. The PlayStation 4 Pro and the Xbox One X, the best way I can describe them is that they do the PlayStation 4 experience and the Xbox One experience better. Like, it isn't like another jump. It isn't like here's a more powerful thing. It's like, hey, you know what's really annoying about playing a game on a PlayStation 4? Here, we're going to bump up the RAM a little bit. Here's 1 extra gigabyte of RAM for the system to use. So now developers have this other 75% of this gigabyte of RAM, you know what I mean, to use over here to ease in some of this stuff. Mm-hmm. That's all it was really about. And like, yes, like you can stream 4K stuff, and yes, the One X had a 4K Blu-ray player in it, so you could watch a 4K Blu-ray. Like, that's cool. But for the most part, it's like, let's alleviate some of the issues that these machines have and make a better, slightly better experience. Like, here's the experience, but better. Not a new experience. It's the PlayStation 4 experience, but better. So my thinking for the Switch Pro, now that it's out and we know, or not, now that it's been leaked a little bit, and we know that it's capable, apparently, of 4K resolution docked. There is no way in hell that's native. It's going to be checkerboarded like the PS4 Pro. And people have done, I don't want to call them studies, because there's actual paperwork and, documentations and a thesis to actually call something a study. But people have done tests, and it's really hard for someone to tell the difference between a 2K resolution checkerboarded to 4K and native 4K. But the amount of effort you save on your processor and rendering is immense and worth it. You might as well do 2K checkerboarding to 4K. Because there's no way this thing is going to be powerful. You might as well be a Switch 2, right?
Yeah.
You're hampering yourself then. This is a new console, right? So it's no way it's like that. The thing itself still has the 720p display on the console's screen itself, but it's an OLED screen, so the colors are going to be better, and it's 0.8 inches bigger. I'm sure just because it's cheaper to do that instead of trying to make the 6.2 inch screen. Now it's a 7, right?
Yeah.
It's just that.
I wonder if I'm assuming too that the Joy-Cons will, like, because that's another issue too, is like if they made like this bigger thing, I feel like you'd have to make new Joy-Cons then. You know what I mean? Like that'd be bullshit. You know what I mean? It's
going to be the same size machine. The bezel is going to be a little thinner because the screen's going to be a little bit bigger on it, right? There's no way that they'll make this a different shape. People are also like, oh, well, the Joy-Cons won't come off. It'll just be a thing. What the fuck are you talking about? That's why it's called the Switch. You're going to say I need to buy a controller if I want to play this on my TV? What the fuck are you talking about? The whole thing's apparent gimmick is that it can be 4K. Yeah. And you're saying I need to buy something else in order to make that happen?
Yeah.
The reason why it's 720p on the screen is because it helps with the battery life, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Right?
But yeah, with all this in mind, like I'll just say, like, I have no interest. Like,
I mean, now to be fair, we're not being marketed to about it yet.
Yeah.
When you were saying, back in 2019, and you rightfully so, we're gonna wait until there was confirmation on Switch 4 if we're buying a Switch. But that's what Nintendo wants, is for you to just be like, I'll just buy it. Then they announce it.
Yeah, but that's the thing is with
Nintendo
me
has never
is
announced a new model unless they're ready to put it on
I
the
can
store
patiently
shelves.
wait though. Like I'm not one of those gamers who needs the new best thing. I don't need the new best PC. I still run an old 1070 or a GTX 1070, and it works amazingly. I can play the Call of Duty Warzone. Sure, it might not look like your. I mean, I still think it looks great in my opinion. Maybe I'm just. For me, like I'm just used to what I'm seeing, so I'm like, oh, this looks good. And then, like, I know there's people out there, who are like, well, you don't have this and this. And I'm like, I don't care.
So, yeah, I also don't have $3,000.
Yeah, I don't care. But it just goes back to people out there who might not have $300, So, like, they're like, I'm going to still play my Wii U or whatever it is. You know what I mean? And, like,
yeah.
That's what's cool.
Wii U just got an update. A software update.
There you go.
No one knows what it does. Probably removes stuff.
But that's the thing with me is just, like, also, like, even if I have all the time in the world, like, just based off what I saw on PS5, there's some cool things that I've already played that I can do. Like I want to try the God of War 60 FPS 4K when I get the PS5. I can wait on that. I played all of God of War. I've seen everything in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like to me, I'm just like
I think that's why Sony for this year is like, we really need to have games on the first year of this thing's existence. Because remember, PS4 didn't. That's why everyone's like, PS4 has no games, blah, blah, blah.
I mean, I still kind of feel that way. Like, I understand we got Demon Souls and Spider-Man Miles Morales.
But then, like, we're getting Returnal, and we're getting, we were going to be getting Gran Turismo 7, but we're getting new Ratchet and Clank. Horizon 2 and God of War 2 are coming, still slated for next year.
I still don't think that's happening, but
they will both be pushed. Guarantee it.
I hope not. I don't want God of War 2
God of War at least will be pushed.
I don't want God of War 2 to be rushed. Unless like they're really like been keeping it under wraps. It just makes me think that they took like a good year or two off before really diving into it. And how much I liked God of War, and I think the expectations are even higher now because it won, Game of the Year which I don't think that was the expectation going in, especially at least for me as a God of War fan. Like I was like, okay, they're doing a reboot, going for a completely different style. That's cool. I'm all for it. All for changing it up. You know, I was expecting. I'm like, I just want to have fun and have a cool adventure game, and it wound up, you know, being really, 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 really good. And like, I'm like, if they just rush it and like, here's God of War 2, and it's like all right, I'm gonna be disappointed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, that's my biggest fear. Is like, I'd rather them. If it takes another 5 years, whatever. Like as long as it's that level,
Yeah.
Or if they change it up even more, like they add more things to it, like or double the worlds. You know what I mean? Then awesome. You know.
That's such a mentality though. Like as we get older, I've at least noticed. I'm like, oh yeah, Breath of the Wild did come out 4 years ago, and the sequel. Like I used to be like, my God. Nintendo only comes out with like a new big Zelda game once every like 5 years or so. It's gonna take forever for the next one. Now I'm like, oh shit, that was 4 years ago. Cool. The sequel's coming out maybe next year.
Time flies when you're getting.
Awesome.
That's literally a saying. Time flies when you're getting older.
Where, like, I don't want a new Zelda every year because I won't finish them all. Like I will get bored, and like obviously the quality is probably going to differ, and yada yada yada. My appreciation of it is going to go way down. You know what I mean? Because I will take it for granted. But like, oh yeah, if you wait 5 years between the games, then they'll actually feel more special. Oh my God. Like, and I'll actually appreciate them. I don't need one of these every year. Same thing with Pokemon. We were talking about earlier. I'm not going to play fucking Pokemon every year.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean I don't like Pokemon, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, take all the time they want. I mean, like, I was really upset when, not, that sounds dramatic, but like, Nier Automata was like a surprise, amazing game for me. I had no idea I would like it as much as I did. I fell in love with that game. That game hit me on levels, right? You liked it a whole lot too, right? And Yoko Taro said that he wanted to have the sequel done for the 10th anniversary, which was last year. And obviously no game was announced, right? But there was that Babylon's Fall game that people think might be secretly a Nier game. Secretly, that game got delayed out of existence. No one has any idea what's up with that game anymore.
Yeah.
And when I heard that, I'm like, I'm still thinking that this is a Nier game. That clearly has to be it. It makes sense to me. You know what I mean? It's published by Square Enix, made by the same development team, Platinum Games, that made Nier Automata. Fucking looks like it, essentially.
At least looks like it. At the very minimum, it's going to be
right?
play.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's going to play like
right?
it. Yeah, exactly.
At least it's going to be fun, right? You know that. It looks just straight up, it's got to be it, right? When that got delayed, I'm like so crushed. I'm like, oh, I need it though. I'm like, it's okay, because if I fucking got Nier every year or every other year, I would take it for granted and it wouldn't feel special anymore, right? Like, it's just the way it is. If we get... Now, granted, like, Nintendo comes out with, like, fucking Mario games all the fucking time, but, like, the big Mario games, the core Mario games, they come out with, like, once every 4, 5, 6 years, right? Mario Odyssey was the last big new Mario game. That was 4 years ago, coming into, like, October, right? Or November, whenever that game came out in 2017.
I think it was October.
Like,
I remember, yeah.
It feels like yesterday I played that game. Now, I was a lot closer for you, obviously. But for me, I'm like, cool. Like, I'm actually getting, like, maybe I'll go back and play Mario Odyssey. Kind of feeling like, I don't need a new one. But when you're a kid, and you have so much free time, and you're obsessing over
when you don't work
Kingdom
40
Hearts,
hours a week, and, like, weeks just fly
right?
by like they're nothing. I mean, I just with, like, that's just generally, I feel like, as we've gotten older, you know, it's always been like, oh shit, it's been another year, huh? That's why I'm just like, I'm like, you know what? I'm kind of glad like I wasn't able to get the PS5, because I'm just like, when I get it, I'll forget that I waited for it. You know what I mean? Like at that point, like down the road, I'm like, I'm actually forgot that the PS5 exists sometimes. Like I'm just like, oh yeah, whatever. Like Mortal Kombat's still cool.
Yeah, there are weeks. There have been stretches of weeks, a week or 2 weeks or whatever, where I don't touch the PS5, but like it's because I'm working on other stuff, right? Like I don't know, like maybe some people expected all of a sudden there was going to be just like this dearth of just all these things for just the new systems. That's not going to happen for a while, but like that doesn't actually matter because the PlayStation 5 is the best-selling console for its stretch of time, its opening. It has had the best launch for sales ever. Ever. For a game system ever.
There's plenty of people I know.
It beat the Switch.
There's plenty of people I know who
Wii.
like
right?
just like either A, just didn't have access to buy it, or were like, yeah, I'm gonna get it in a year.
And people are starved for this shit. That's why it's still hard to get these.
Which is crazy.
It did not happen. Like, it happened with the Switch, but like, actually, yeah, it did happen with the Switch.
But,
so
I felt like
happened.
Granted, I wasn't actively trying to get it, but like I felt like, at least from my point of view, that it was like 3 or 4 months though.
I just think is like
I felt like, but I was like you still could have gone to the store like after 3 to 4 months.
I mean, it's not quite like this, but the Switch is still kind of hard to get.
Generally, yeah.
They still go through areas where like Nintendo just makes what they can make and then they all sell out. That's why like they're fucking happy as fuck. The Switch has sold over 80 million consoles. Think about that for a second. The Xbox One, which came out 4 years earlier, just hit 50.
Yeah.
The PlayStation 4 is, I think, almost going to hit 110, but they've already moved on. Even though that's not going to affect PlayStation 4, that's still going to sell it crazy. Maybe in a year or two they'll do a price drop, but that didn't happen with PS3. They just stopped making them, and then like they don't need to price drop it because they're all sold. Like the Switch will pass PlayStation 4. It will. It'll pass the Wii. It'll pass the DS. Might not get to PS2, which is at 150. Unless they just keep doing iterations of the Switch, because guess what? It's good enough. It just is. You can play fun games on the Switch. The gimmick is very simple. It can be on your TV too. It's a handheld that can be on your TV.
There's people I know who even have the mini one, like the light one, and I'm like, even for me, I'm just like, I kind of wish I just got the light one because it's cheaper. I'm like, and it's just a little bit more portable. You know what I mean? Like, part of me was like, maybe I should have just gotten that one and called it a day. Like the Animal Crossing one is goddamn cute. Like the yellow or green one there, the Nintendo Switch Lite, but there's like one just for Animal Crossing.
You sure?
Like there's like pretty sure it came with it.
Because there's a regular Switch. It's Animal Crossing themed. I don't think there's a light.
Or maybe
there's definitely
maybe I'm thinking the light one is yellow, and then there is the Animal Crossing one that is the regular one. I think you're right.
Yeah,
but
a Pokemon light.
That's my other thing too with the PS5. Like I like the design. I don't love it. I like it.
Oh, I love the design.
But part of me is I have so many like I have I bought this because I didn't buy a PS4. I had a PS4 Pro, and I bought it in Glacier White from GameStop.
Yeah, I'm jealous. I want that.
But it's funny is like now that I've had it, I'm just like, now I want a black console. So I'm like,
really?
Yeah. So I'm just like, or like a matted black or something. Like I'm like, I look at the PS5. I'm like,
I'll trade you.
I look at the PS5 and I'm like, I would like to see what that would look like, matted black, and then maybe the middle part is white.
Disagree.
I just want to see what it would look like because maybe
if it was reversed.
That's what I'm saying. Basically, reverse it. And I want to see what that looks like because I'm like, I would maybe wait out for that. Like maybe in a year and a half from now, by the time I finally finish these PS4 games, you know what I mean, or like they stop making games for PS4, I'll be like, oh, now I can go grab that. And in that case too, I feel like I got.
Remember, Horizon 2 is supposed to be a PS4 game as well.
Exactly. So like, I because I bought the PS4 Pro in 2018, March 2018. So like,
no, I thought that was. Are you sure?
Yes, because I moved in
January.
Maybe it was February. Early 2018.
Because I had the honor of buying you your first PS4 games.
Yeah, but I think it was still a couple of weeks after that I actually got the console. It doesn't matter. Early 2018 is when I got it. And I'm like, originally I was like, okay, so the last 2 or 3 years. And part of me was like, I didn't want the PS5 to come out just to really get my bang for my buck. But it doesn't even matter because I didn't have access to really get it. And I kind of just given up. That I'm just like, I'm going to get even more money.
If it wasn't COVID, you could come over here more often.
Yeah.
You could play mine.
It's just more of, like, now I feel like I'm getting even more bang for my buck, though. Like, because I'm like, oh, one more year of this? Okay, cool. I spent $300 on it or whatever it was, $400, so, like...
4.
So I'm like, if
What's ironic?
if I get 4 years out of it, $100 for the year.
What's ironic is that I because of the backwards compatibility on the PS5, I have no reason to ever touch my PS4. I still go back to my PS3 because I have to. Well, I don't have to, but you know what I mean. If I want to play those, I have to. But I'm trying to think. I have no reason to use my PS4. There's a handful of games that just can't, for some reason, work on the PS5 for some weird technical reason.
We're gonna keep ours and just
them.
put it in the bedroom so that like my girlfriend just watch stuff on the TV if I'm playing something on the other one. Even though there's never really that doesn't really happen with us ever. Like as much as you like most of the time, like we'll just watch something together, or she's already in bed already, just asleep, and I'm just like, I have a half hour. Let me play this game. You know what I mean? Like, so it's never really been an issue where I'm like, well, I want to play, or I want to watch this. It's like that never happens really. So like, it's more of
that's
just
what the whole Wii U's pitch is, that you can end that argument right now because you can play on the shitty little 480p screen.
Yeah, but like, I was like, oh, we'll just move to the bedroom because then like, we don't have to worry about like having not enough space out here, and I'm like, and it'll just be like, or if we have guests over or someone's like, you know, or someone's staying over, you know, they could sleep on the couch but like have the TV on, and then like, oh, I could still play a game on the PS4 or watch Netflix on the PS4, whatever, you know what I mean? So yeah,
I mean, shit.
like I'm just talking, it just turned into just like, will I purchase this thing? Will I not? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I hooked my PS2 up to my TV because I bought that cable.
There you go. I still have my PS2. I don't know if it works. I haven't tested it since I got the PS4.
I mean, we can test it out.
Because last time I used it, we were watching Star Wars on a 720p TV with it, and the cat jumped on it twice at one point. And then the next time when we were watching Star Wars, the disc would skip every once in a while. I'm like, fuck, did the cat jump on it too hard that it fucked up the disc?
Well, I can open it up. I know what it looks like on the inside because I cleaned out mine.
Because I still have because part of me wants to know if it works still, because I still have Dino Crisis. I still have God of War 2. Both God of Wars. First two God of Wars.
Fuck. The cable I bought was a very simple consumer plug-and-play cable. Cost $30, up on the higher end of the price range, but their quality from this brand is good. I mean, like, I want if I had a lot of money, I would get, you know, a FrameMeister XRGB Mini, you know, spend $400 on one of those, and then buy all the pricey cables to have this perfect thing. But it's a really good consumer grade cable you can buy on Amazon. $30. Play my PlayStation 2 on my television. I could, you know what I mean? I can play it on my television.
Or I can always just get Dino Crisis 2 on PS4 and just call it a day too, you know what I mean? Like, but I do like having like the original disc on PS1.
Well, there's a lot of PS1 and PS2 games that aren't on PS4, obviously, and PS3 doesn't even have those, right? So, I mean,
I'm gonna trade in my PS2 at like one of those non-GameStop game stores and be like, do you have a PS3? Do you do an exchange for the PS3?
You're finally working on
it. Yeah, I'll be like, I'm sorry, I've had this for 25 years. I'm looking to upgrade. You sure you want the PS4? Nah, I'm still saving up for that. I'm playing every game on each one. I'm working my way up.
That's cool. Yeah,
I think
I'm in the market. I'm in the market to buy several PS3s. Yes. Yeah, I have two PS3s. One I have here, the other is back home at my mom's house. I have two of them. But neither are the launch backwards compatible one. I want one of those. And from what I've looked on, the price has gone way down because no one really cares about PlayStation 3 anymore.
Damn.
So like the value just dropped. So you can buy one. I mean, GameStop had one. I don't trust GameStop's website in terms of like because I bought pre-owned games from them, and they'll just send you an envelope with the cartridge or disc in it. You don't even get a case.
Yeah.
And like, Jesus, you showed me a case in the image. I can't trust you, right? It was like $80 for this launch PS3, and I'm like, I remember a time where that was like $700 because everyone wanted one. Now, like, no one cares, right? But I'm in the market because here's my thing. This is why I've been streaming lately. I fully suspect, anticipate, predict, prophesize within the next 2 years from today. Fuck it. In the next 2 years from today, Sony will at least announce that they are taking the PlayStation 3 offline completely. They already did that with the PSP. Or at least they got rid of the store on the PSP. Maybe you can play those games online, but who cares? You can play those games on a Vita, and that's still connected, right? My suspicion is that within 2 years, they'll do that with PS3. They'll announce it, maybe give you a year lead time. Maybe they won't at all. When they decided to take PS3, PSP, and Vita games off the store, off the PSN store, on the actual website and your phone, they announced it the day they did it. So they could, right? They could just say PS3 is not online anymore. So, like, I want to make sure I have all my shit backed up. You can't re-download a game if you can't connect it to the internet, right?
Yeah.
If you can't connect, you know what I mean? And so, like, I had done some research, and so I'm going to be getting, if the stimulus check comes through, it'll be easier for me to justify this kind of purchase. Some hard drives, these special hard drives people recommend putting them in PS3s, and I want to get a few of them so I can actually have a back catalog of all this stuff. Because I have hundreds of games digital for PS3. And even then, like, you didn't have a Vita. And because you know what? I'm going to say this right now, PlayStation fanboys out there. The PSP was better than the Vita. Yes, technical specs about it aside, PSP is better than the Vita. It had better games. I'm sorry. It's just the way
I had
it is. PSP
mostly all the
games.
bad ones. The only good ones
You had bad games.
The only two good ones I had was Burnout Revenge and God of War Chains of Olympus, which came out actually, I think I saw a tweet today that was like 10 years ago today or whatever. I don't remember the exact date, but it was around.
No, I can see that.
Yeah, and I'm like,
well,
I was tweeting about it today. I don't remember what year it was, but a very long time ago.
Yeah.
But those are the only two good games I had.
The PlayStation 3 can be used as a hub to download and store and transfer games and save files for the Vita. It's like as if you could dock your Switch into a computer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The PS3 does that with the Vita. The PS4 doesn't. The PS4, you plug your Vita into your PS4 and it has no idea what the fuck it is. But the PS3 does. You can purchase and download Vita games to your PS3 and then transfer them to your Vita. You can use it as a hub to store your save files, right? And you can do that with PSP stuff as well. So, like, I have a bunch of Vita stuff as well. I need to do all that stuff. So, like, I don't know. I'm also, like, a collector. I just want to have, like, one of each model of this, right? So, that's, I legitimately contemplated, like, if we got more in the stimulus check, I wouldn't be upset with buying a digital PS5 because I could have one of each model. It's obviously a ridiculous purchase, and I have better things to spend money on, like eating, eating food.
No. Yeah.
But one purchase I will be making in June 11th of this year, is Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade. At least the DLC, because the PS4 version obviously upgrades for free. I am super hyped for that. I'm super hyped that they've been working on more stuff. There wasn't even like any patches for the game, and everyone was worried, like, oh man, like, what does this mean? Or is development going bad? Like, no, they've been working on like a bunch of stuff for the game. They've been working on the sequel. I know you're not as enthused.
I probably won't play it. I mean, I'll probably get the free Final Fantasy VII from PlayStation Plus, but like, I don't know. I mean, I played the entire game. Thought it was good. You can hear a whole long spiel in another episode. But it's like it's not like my favorite type of game either. So it's like I like.
But yet still, you loved it a whole lot.
I did, but like, there's a lot of other stuff I'd rather play in this year. Like maybe I'd go. It's like, even like, I love Last of Us, and I didn't even play the DLC of that. And I loved Uncharted. I didn't play Lost Legacy. I'm just like, eh. To me, like, DLC just feels. Every time I've played DLC, I'm always just like,
yeah,
this feels like filler. This feels like just like, hey, you ate your sandwich. Here's some chips. I'm okay with just the sandwich.
My suspicion for this Yuffie DLC for the PS5, it's only for the PS5 version. So till you get a PS5,
it doesn't
you
even matter.
can't even
Yeah,
play
never
that
mind.
stuff. But
then I'm definitely not playing it this year.
my suspicion, and I think it's quite obvious, is that like, well, she's probably going to be in the second game. They'll probably introduce her earlier in the story than they would have, because you can get her in pretty late in the original game. And so, like, all the work that they're doing about making her a playable character here in this DLC, it just translates straight to the sequel. Probably. So, like, they get to, like, get some money off of working on her early, you know? And that's why the new character they announced for this, that's in that trailer, the Sonon guy, he's brand new. I have no idea who he is. He's not playable, because he's not going to be in the next game, so why bother you know what I mean? To me, that's like, oh, this is clearly what this is. They're trying to make this is basically funding the next game, and they're also trying to make, you know, the character of Yuffie more important for the story, because she's one of 2 optional characters you can find and get, and like she barely influences the story or has anything meaningful to say. So like, but she's like a beloved character. She was one of my 3. I loved her. She was this little kid, this shitty little kid, this obnoxious kid that just kept trying to just steal your shit. The only reason why she joins, and she even like says it to the camera, I'm gonna steal their stuff. And then, you know what I mean? It's like, I love that. I'm like, this is brilliant.
That's funny.
You have a character that doesn't like these fucks that she's traveling with, and she wants to steal their shit. But now they're making her more important in the story. So like, that's cool.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
I'm actually going to go back and platinum.
There's like just so much.
There's
just so much stuff, and I'm just kind of just like, I'm trying not to like get too not invested. Just like, I'll get to it if I get to it. Kind of energy. In the last like year, I've kind of just realized it's okay not to finish everything. That's one thing I've learned. Because I always try to treat video games like movies, and now I'm not doing that as much anymore, where I'm like, I don't need to play the entire game to have an opinion on it. I don't need to play the entire game to be like, I wasted my money or time. Like, for me, a movie, yes, I want to start and finish that film. For a TV show, maybe.
Maybe.
Depending on if I like the first couple
TV
episodes.
Shows,
but
we need to finish off that last season of Avatar.
Yeah, I'm going to start that, I think, soon. So...
maybe after, because you know that was an experiment for us. Sorry to cut you off, but you know, that was an experiment for us. Do we want to start do TV shows? I don't think it really worked out for us all that well. But an idea we can do is, and we can translate this into just Sonic cartoons.
True.
You know what I mean? Maybe we just do that idea, because we were like, oh, you know, audience members out there were like, oh, maybe we'll like. Maybe do a season of Survivor, or maybe
I still want to do that
Lost,
because that'd be hilarious.
or,
but
you know what I mean?
Because
like,
Survivor is usually
doing...
like 20 episodes, I think. Right? I guess maybe less.
We
than
were
that.
going to start from the beginning of Survivor.
I at least want to watch like the first season just to see like, because I've watched 1 or 2 seasons in my day, but I would like to watch the very first one to see like.
I had a boss once
the
that
premise.
was his favorite thing
Hell
ever.
Yeah.
Survivor.
The other one is what's the other one?
The Bachelor.
No, the where you travel the world. What's that called?
Oh, yeah, the $1,000,000 Mile Race or
something like
$1 Million Race,
something like that. I've always wanted to try that. Like, if there was a way to sign up for that, I wish I did. I think I'd be awesome at it, or terrible. Yeah. I don't know which. It would go either way. But
I remember Avatar in my mind picturing we would have all 3 seasons done by August of last year. Obviously, it didn't work out, but. And it's not that idea is not going to really work out because we're spinning too many plates. We have a lot of cool stuff we're working on, and just like, hey, we're watching a bunch of video game movies now. We have the spreadsheet for it. The Vin Diesel stuff for Chronicles of Diesel. We have a spreadsheet for that.
It is a lot.
We played a video game, and we have to do another one like in 2 months. 2 video games and
like that's the thing with May, we did with Last of Us and Final Fantasy, and like I said earlier, there's some weeks where I only have 2 or 3 hours to play a video game.
But those lined up and they worked out. Right?
Generally, I'm just saying the game came out, 2 months went by, and then we talked about it, you know, and like that was always just because of time, and also because we're doing the Chronicles of Diesel,
other things. But for in terms of like doing TV shows, we might do Sonic in the future. Like, hey. Maybe not necessarily a full season, but we might pick like a sampling of episodes.
Well, we did do the Sonic cartoons.
Yeah, well, something like that again, right? But we actually both watched the same thing.
Oh, instead of
not, remember that stupid idea?
Well, I don't know if it was stupid. It was just like
different
we were like,
episodes?
yeah, you're gonna watch the early, I'm gonna watch the late or whatever way it was. I don't remember. Yeah, that was it's not cartoons, man. I don't know. Actually, after watching the ones I
Christmas
watched
Blast.
were not good or had no interest, and I'm like, I don't know if I could sit through us watching that. But,
well, you know what? So like, here's the thing about our show. We started this in 2019 as a joke about this episode has just turned into like just fucking whatever.
like I said, I think right before we started recording, like we had a good run of having ideas, even on the night of doing something. So God forbid we have one shoot the shit, if that's even what you want to call it,
right?
Episode. So sorry.
But what I was saying, we started the show in 2019 as a joke of like, hey, we want to do a podcast, right? But there's too many shoot the shit podcasts. There's too many podcasts that are just like funny podcasts. No one searches funny podcasts, right?
I do.
People search for a niche. People search for a thing. The only times I've ever listened to a comedy podcast is because I already knew the people from other podcasts about video games or whatnot, right? People don't search for that. So like we were like, we need a funny niche. You know what would be a funny niche? Apparently that Sonic movie's still gonna be a thing. Would be hilarious if we just based a podcast on the Sonic movie. That's probably not going to happen. Then a week after our first episode, we got a trailer. Like, all right, I guess we got to do Sonic movie news as the whole shtick, right?
Yeah.
But now that's done and gone, we've just become, and I love what we've done, and I'm proud of what we've done. Right? Sonic news, movie news, Sonic movie news.
Sonic nudes.
But like, we've had no fucking Sonic news, really. Besides, like, oh yeah, remember when they were supposed to announce something on the 20th of every month, and they never did?
I really
right?
wish we had the timeline where there's no COVID. I mean, I think everyone does, podcast or not, of course. But like, we had like pretty set in much more organized. I feel not much. I don't say much more organized, but we had a pretty like good set.
We had a good plan.
We had a good plan of like, okay,
who knows if we could have stuck to it, but we had a good plan.
And the plan was basically watch at least one in movie theater, like maybe it came out that month, or maybe it's like opening night or something. It might have been a completely random film that maybe we're both not really interested in, but we would just go and see and talk about it.
Right.
And in a way, though, at least we are in a way, I think it is beneficial though, is that we now have time to watch all these video game movies, good and bad.
And I love that. I honestly, this is like my favorite thing is doing these video game movie episodes, because getting me to like watch these bad movies. For the most part, they've not been great, right?
Yeah.
But what I wanted to say though, going back, is that like we've had nothing actually Sonic, right? And obviously, the sequel to the movie is going to be next year, which is crazy.
Hopefully, if all things go.
Hopefully, right? But there's going to be more. There's going to be a Sonic game coming out soon, right?
Hopefully,
But
another
Netflix
hope
show. There's that Netflix show, Sonic Prime. When was that again? I don't remember.
But
in any case,
2022, I think.
Oh, okay. Well, then fuck it. In any case, eventually we're gonna be hitting new Sonic shit, and we're gonna actually have to like cover a Sonic cartoon. When they do the Sonic thing on Netflix dumps all their episodes at once. We're gonna watch that show, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right.
That's what I was assuming.
What I mean? We're
yeah.
gonna talk about it. You know what I mean? When there's a new Sonic game, like we're gonna buy it, right, and play it.
Except Team
our
Sonic
shtick is.
Racing. Or Sonic Team
count.
Racing, whatever the fucking title is.
It's called Team Sonic Racing.
I say this every time. I don't remember. I
Team
played
Sonic Racing.
too much of it.
I bought the same day as you, and I never touched it. And that's honestly, I feel like a shitty friend because I coaxed you in. I
played the
coaxed you into
whole
buying
story
that.
mode. All right. To be fair, I'm trying to make up for the lack of Sonic games I actually played. I'm actually a fake Sonic. I'm a fake Sonic Hedgehog fan.
Yeah.
I'm the faker. When Shannon was saying who's the faker, I'm the faker because I've only really played Sonic 2 on the Sega Genesis or whatever I had, and then a couple Sonic games here and there, but not like full fledged. Sonic Adventure 2 was my real welcome to Sonic.
That was mine as a kid.
But that was only like 4 years ago, really.
I'm gonna give you my Sonic origin story. You ready?
Yeah.
Now, like you, I also played Sonic 2 one time on a Genesis at someone's house.
I did own it, but I don't remember. It was like when I was 4, so it doesn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did. I played it once, right? But I was a kid. This had to have been 2002, and I am in Walmart with my mom or someone for whatever reason.
Some random adult. What? I have no idea.
Someone, right? And, as a kid, you're always trying to look at the video game section. Oh, my God. They had a demo kiosk for Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, the GameCube version.
Uh-huh.
And it was a demo, right? And I'm pretty sure the demo was City Escape. But maybe it was just this one part. There's no way it would have been this one part. It had to have been just City Escape total. In any case, someone stopped playing right before the truck, because there's that sit checkpoint, and then you start the truck.
Uh-huh.
That's what I played. I played that. I'm like, oh my God, this is so much fun. And I, how he runs down and takes left and right turns. That's just what happens. I thought I was doing that. Like, I thought I was choosing which way I was going. I'm like, oh my God, this is so fun. And I remember, I don't even actually know if I said anything to my mom or whoever I was with that, like, this is awesome, I want this. But I got it, like, really quickly. And that did not happen for me with video games. We did not have a whole lot of money. I did not get to just ask for a video game and get it. Somehow that happened with me. So that's how I got Sonic Adventure 2. That was, like, at one point my favorite game of all time. Because that's all I fucking played.
Like I said, I played snippets, I think, I'm sure, at some point. But I do remember a very small memory of having the Sega Genesis, or at least I think it is, and playing Sonic 2. It was very hard for a kid like me. Mm-hmm. That's like my earliest video game memory. So like Sonic's always been there, whether I liked it or not. And I didn't play really any Sonic games. Like I said, maybe here and there I did. I don't know, like I won't really remember, but like then I really played Sonic Adventure 2. We did with Video Game Dad. So I think Sonic was always meant to be. Like just whether, like I said, whether I liked it or not, it was in my DNA. So, but I'm trying my best. I'm trying my best to get my knowledge.
We played Sonic 1.
Yeah, and then I did play Sonic. What was it Sonic? What did I play on stream? Like
you played Sonic CD.
Yeah,
and you played Sonic Generations.
Yes. So I'm getting there. So.
Yeah, we played for our 50th episode Sonic 1, and we did it. We're thinking about doing something like that for 100. We can just say we're going to do it, unless something happens. But even then, like we have
100 episodes somehow going to be when the movie comes out.
Do. Well, I mean, yeah, we have options about what we want to do as a game for 100. But like even as we have to fall back to the very basic minimum, there's one that's very easy for us to both do. So at the very least, we are going to do a Sonic game for episode 100. We're not going to say what it is because we don't know yet. We haven't decided. That's not going to be until like the summer, I think. I planned it out, or like if we do August, an episode every Sunday, it was like August, right? But yeah, like I haven't played every Sonic game either. Right, I played.
And that's what I'm saying. We're fakers.
Pretty much all of them.
I'm having an identity crisis.
Touched a lot of them. I've actually been playing 2 Sonic games very recently on my stream that I've been doing. Sonic Unleashed, trying to get the Platinum Trophy for that.
See, the thing is, I've seen a lot of people play Sonic games. So, like in a way, I do have. It's not like I'm like we did this podcast. I had no knowledge. Like I'm like
You don't need to defend yourself.
I'm having an identity crisis right now, dude. This is what happens at 11:39 p.m. on a Thursday night, and I had like 5 hours of sleep, and we had nothing else to talk about. This is what happens. This is where my brain goes.
I've been playing Sonic Unleashed, trying to get the Platinum Trophy. It's a game that I've played, according to my thing, 12 years ago.
Nice.
I first started it, right? And I've been playing Sonic 1, because there's a PSN digital PS3 version of that game. And there's a trophy for getting all the Chaos Emeralds. There's a trophy for beating the game without dying.
Good luck.
And there's a trophy for beating the game in under 40 minutes.
Also good luck.
You say good luck, but guess what? The game lets you fucking save scum.
At
any point, you can just save. So I've been doing that, right? I'm knocking out probably all 3 of those in one run. Under 40 minutes, never dying, getting all the Chaos Emeralds. I actually got that trophy. I got all the Chaos Emeralds. Because you can just save scum your way through Sonic 1. The game just lets you do it. But those are the 2 Sonic games I've been playing recently. But, like, Every single Sonic game is available on Steam for the most part, besides handheld ones, like all the big Sonic games, except Unleashed and Colors. So, like, one of the reasons why I want to platinum Unleashed now, just like how I platinumed Final Fantasy 13 last month, and how I want to do another game soon, is because I'm pretty sure there'll be a PS5 remaster, remake, upgrade, or whatever.
And that'll be the only Sonic thing you get for the next 5 years. Ha ha ha.
Fuck it, I'll take it, right? I was saying earlier.
After watching you
like
play Sonic Unleashed, I don't know if I'd want that.
I don't know. That game is hilarious in that the frame rate's uncapped.
Yeah. It'll
go as high as it can, but it barely gets the chance to go high. So it's all over the place. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. The most fun level I've had coming back to it now, like a decade later, is this ice level, because there's like nothing in the background for them to render. So the game actually runs above 30 frames a second, and it's kind of consistent. And I'm like, oh my god, this is actually fun, because I don't feel like I'm throwing up inside. You know what I mean?
Sonic and throwing up is...
Whenever you turn to the Werehog, it's like those levels, the game is below 30. And I swear to God, I think it's because whatever they did for his character model to render the fur is causing the frame rate to go bad. I think it's struggling to render him.
When you have like when they committed to an idea like halfway through development, and they're like, fuck,
right? Like, yeah. And one day we will play Sonic 06. Thank God.
That's the one with that's the one with the whale, right?
No, that's Sonic. Well, I mean, there's a whale on 06 as well.
He like runs
Sonic
in the water.
1.
No, like he runs in the water, and then there's like a killer whale.
So Sonic Adventure 1, the first level, you're running on a beach. Then you're running on some docks, and the whale chases you like the truck does in Sonic Adventure 2.
Maybe it's
But there are whales in the first level of Sonic 06.
I don't know.
But it's not really like that. But in any case, I mean, that's the one where, like, in that first level, you can walk through a loop-de-loop. You can just, like, slowly walk. It lets you, right? Game is so glitchy and boring. I'm so thankful that game came out in 2006 on 360 and, like, January of 2007 on PS3, because it's before trophies were a thing, and there are no trophies for that game. Thank God. I don't have a reason to play that game. But I'd love to introduce you to that game. Here's another Sonic here's a continuation of my Sonic origin story. Played Sonic Adventure 2, loved it. Got Sonic Advance 2 for my Game Boy Advance. Liked it a lot, right? I rented Sonic Heroes, didn't care for it. I rented Shadow the Hedgehog. I actually thought this was bad back in the day. I'm like, oof. It's really weird that he has a gun. It feels like he's trying to be mature, but it's kind of bad, right? Sonic, like, I get my PS3, Christmas of 2008. So 2 years after it came out, but Christmas of 2008, right? And in a couple months later, I'm going through Toys R Us. The Toys R Us you and I both know and love. Uh-huh. And I see...
In Greece.
I see 3 games, like, reach out to me. I see them. I see a game that I played on a PlayStation 3 that family members had, distant relatives. They always got, like, new consoles, like, right away or whatever, right? So I played this game called Uncharted. I'm like, wow, this is really cool. I played it there. I see that on the shelf.
Yeah, you're like, whatever.
I see Sonic Unleashed on the shelf.
Okay, now we're talking.
But then I see Sonic 06, and I'm like, that's the one. It's also cheapest. Maybe that influenced my decision, because Uncharted was still full price at the time. I pick up Sonic, and the game is just called Sonic the Hedgehog. And the box art is like he's like running towards kind of off camera, right? So like right off center off the camera, he's running. It says Sonic the Hedgehog. I'm like, cool. Got that. Pretty sure the clerk, when I rang up the game, was like trying to warn me or judge me about that purchase. But he didn't stop me, so I got that. And I played through it. And it wasn't fun. But I didn't know it was bad. This is the crazy thing. Like, even Sonic Adventure 2, the Knuckles levels are bad. The Tails levels are just barely not as bad. And the Sonic levels can be fun, but they just aren't. Like, you could find fun. That's why I like those. And I knew as a kid playing that game, I just never went to the Knuckles levels. I never replayed those because I didn't find them fun. It's not that I didn't think that they were good, because I didn't have that concept of quality.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I don't have fun with this. I'm just not good enough, I guess. I'll play these. Sonic 06, I'm like, I'm not having fun with this. But I didn't realize it was bad. But then, like, we saw in GameStop in the bargain bin Sonic Unleashed. For some reason, a game that wasn't really all that old, in the bargain bin. And I was able to buy it. Went home. And parents never really asked me too much about, like, the video games or anything like that, or made comments. It was like, he's playing a game, it's distracting him or whatever, right? I played the first level of Sonic Unleashed, and, like, my mom recognized that I was actually smiling or something, I guess.
My son is finally smiled for the first time in years because of this dumb headshot.
But no, she I guess sensed that this was actually a good game or something. I was having fun with this, because she said, "Oh yeah, this one, you're having more fun with this one, aren't you?" Because she probably saw me playing Sonic 06 and hating what I was doing, but I never realized was not having fun in this sense. I'm like, then it dawned on me, like, oh my god, yeah, this game is good. That other game is bad. And I went back and played Sonic 06 again. I'm like, this game is not good. And we were like, this was 2009. Like, this was, according to my trophies, my first trophy for Sonic Unleashed was April of 2009. So we weren't children. We were in middle school.
Yeah, I was going to
say...
I
just never had that critical, you know what I mean? That critical thinking cap for what I was doing or watching. I just like, oh yeah, either I don't like this or I do.
We're like 12 or 13.
But it was never like this is good or bad. So for me, and this happens with children, and it's okay, because this happened to me, and I can speak with experience. You can like bad things, like Sonic games that are not good. All Sonic games are bad. They range.
We say that like once every like 7 months. We're like, a painful
Sonic
reminder
games
that all Sonic games are bad.
are bad. They're all bad. They're all bad. Every single Sonic game is bad.
There's some that are worse.
Single one is good. There are some that are terrible, and there are some that are irritable, but they're all bad, right? Our hope is that they make a good one, but we know that's not going to happen because they're all bad.
It's cursed. It's a cursed franchise.
It is.
We've
it's
known
the
this.
Sonic, and people like to call it, I think, the Sonic timeline or the Sonic loop or the Sonic cycle. That's what they call it. Oh, this next Sonic game looks like it actually might be the good one this time, and it's not. Right?
But hey,
but
that was what made this whole journey with when the first movie, our whole journey to the first movie, it felt like a Cinderella story. Everything, it just looked like once again that like, wow, Sonic is going to be trash again, and then it wasn't. That's why I have hope.
It was all right,
but it wasn't bad.
No,
that's what I'm saying. It wasn't.
Yes, you're right. It wasn't bad. All Sonic games are bad. And it just comes down to like the type of game that they need to make Sonic actually be Sonic and not something different. Sonic games will never be, I don't want to say they'll never be fun, but like Sonic is cool.
They never
right?
were fun, actually.
Sonic is whatever's cool. And usually fun ain't that. It's always something flashy. It's always something like, you know, like, I like Sonic Unleashed. That game, like, the game for its actual Sonic levels tries to be like a roller coaster and puts you through all this cool shit, right? Make you do cool things. But the times where I'm actually having real fun are in this again, going back to this ice level, because that's the one I've been playing recently for trying to get a trophy for it. It's very boring looking because it's all just ice. It's the North Pole. And there's just snow everywhere. And there's just
very
wide
realistic.
open stretches where you're running fast, but you can control, kind of. And I'm like, you know what? This is fun. But it's not putting me on a roller coaster. Because that's not cool. But this is fun, though. So, like, I don't know. We did an episode a while back on what we want for a Sonic game, what we think would be fun. We had two different ideas. We're coming from two different places, right? And, you know, so we've already had that discussion. But for me, what Sonic needs to do to be fun is to take forever to make the game and put a lot of budget into it and do a lot of testing and have a lot of people look at it and be like, am I having fun with this? No. All right, we scrap
Is this
idea.
bad?
Start over.
Yes.
Yes.
Good, we did it. Send it.
Ship it. Right? Because here's the thing, like, there's a cycle to Sonic in the games, but there's a cycle to the development team. If you ship a bad game, you're probably not going to get too much funding because you probably can't use the funding, the budget all that well, because apparently you suck. So that means that your next game you're making is under budget and it's bad. And you know what I mean? Then that's a cycle, right? I don't think Sonic Team is all that great as a developer because I don't think I've played anything made by quote-unquote Sonic Team that's good. Even the things that aren't Sonic, they're not really all that good. So I'm not saying that, like, and I don't want to be these people that's like, oh, these lazy devs, these incompetent devs, because I don't. It's harder than anything I've ever done in my life making a video game. So, like, hey, you know what I mean? Smarter than me. But, it, like, you know how people were like, oh, we need to fire Game Freak, that petition, make new Pokemon games? I kind of would like to see someone else
we talked about that,
make Sonic.
Talked about that when they said that, like, most of the Sonic people are leaving, the writers and, like, the voice actors. Yeah. They're cleaning house. Good.
Right?
Even the good parts of it. Good. You have to blow it up sometimes.
Fired.
You have to blow it up.
You know what I mean? But at the same time, I would still be interested to see what would another team do. What would, like, you know, Capcom?
Capcom,
what would their Sonic game look
honestly,
like?
Capcom, I feel like could crush it. Like, just because they've made, like, a goofy, campy, but fun shit. Like, whoever, like what they do with, like, Monster Hunter. Like, this feels, it's fun. It's not the most, like, pretty looking game. It's not the most.
No, a game's ugly. I don't understand people who are like, Monster Hunter World's so pretty. I'm like, this game's like really glossy, shiny, ugly.
It felt like a PS3. It's a PS3 game visually.
It's a weird game.
But, like, I would love to see what they would do with Sonic. Of course, that'd be amazing.
Did you see when they brought back Ghosts and Goblins? You see what that game, that remake, looks like?
Yeah,
it looks so fucking weird.
That's what I'm saying. Like, fuck it,
right?
But
like, obviously, I would love to see what Nintendo could do with Sonic.
That would make
sense.
That's
maybe asking for too much. So give it to Capcom.
Yeah,
let
Capcom make Sonic.
Capcom made 3 Zelda games. Nintendo let Capcom make 3 Zelda games. Sega can let them make a Sonic game.
Capcom's gonna make Sonic Forces 2.
God, I gotta platinum that game.
No, you don't.
At some point in my future.
That was one that we didn't talk about. Talking about Sonic experiences.
I forgot.
Sonic Forces. You bought, or I don't know, and then I hung out at your place all night, and we played it from start to finish.
We beat it in an afternoon.
We weren't drunk, but we might as well have been from tiredness or whatever it was.
More like Sandhill.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. That's where the joke is from. But damn, that game. That was a rough 6 hours.
Sonic was tortured on the moon for months.
Yes, and we don't talk about it enough.
No.
It's definitely a war crime or something.
Someone was sharing the ending scenes from that game, talking about Resistance Twitter now that Biden's president and Trump's no longer president.
I think I saw that one with Knuckles. Yeah,
Knuckles is like, well, we've got our victory. There's no more need for resistance anymore. But we still have all the friends we made along the way.
Hell yeah.
We just have no need for fighting. It's like, yay, police brutality can now go in.
Part of me wants to do that game again for one of our episodes, because I think it honestly would just kill me. But it would be worth it for the content.
We're not doing that for episode 100, no. I'll tell you that right now.
I also, I've always thought about maybe doing that game again, but, like, for charity. But, like, it has to be some sort of twist in it. Like we'd have to start the game over if we die or something like that. Like, we lose all our lives. Like, some crazy...
platinuming that game is a slog, looking at that.
That's what I'm saying. You turn it into something a little bit more fun to get you through it.
Right? That's
what I'm saying. We would, like, stream it or something, where we would, like...
I would love to do Extra Life for trophy hunting stuff.
That's what I'm saying. We'd do something like that. But there has to be some sort of, like, other thing I think to it to make just even just more of a disaster.
I've always loved the Extra Life or just charity streams that are like, here's a 12-hour marathon, and there's just a bunch of people over. It's a party.
Yeah, I know.
Playing
It's
games,
and most people are drunk, I feel like. But that's something we could do where it would be like, or like someone donates some amount of money, we have to start the level over, like no matter what, like part we're in. So like just something like that, or we have to play that. We have to do it blindfolded or something for the next 5 minutes, like just dumb shit like that. I think could be fun, and then you add in just like the shitty dialogue and
oh my god,
the whole game is a. I like we talked about. You don't want anyone to be fired, but I really wonder if that was like, bro, what the fuck did we do?
Think about all I can think about is just the hubris. That fucking, and again, like, I don't want to hate on a development studio, but really, Sonic Team, really, you tortured Sonic on the moon or a space station, whatever, for 6 months. Really, you're gonna do that? You're gonna say that you did that? You're gonna say that you did that? You're gonna say that the Eggman destroyed the planet and he owns everything now? You're gonna say that you did that? You're gonna go from like
0 to 100,
yeah. Like a couple games in a row of happy-go-lucky, Sonic and Tails fight Eggman, the cartoon villain, and it's not all that much stakes, to now he's Hitler.
He's like 10 times worse than Hitler. He owns the entire world, and like everyone's enslaved.
You're gonna really jump to Hitler, I mean, yes, Hitler is a fascist leader, but Robotnik is the fascist overlord that owns the planet, and now all of Sonic's friends are the Resistance. This game came out in 2017. Back when we used to say #Resistance unironically, right? Because it turns out the resistance we made along the way is just fascism part 2. It's just apologetic for like the slightly less fascism we're having right now.
Fucking Sonic Forces.
Really, Sonic Team. 6 months. You tortured Sonic. Really?
I just love my other favorite part was that it like you're not always playing as Sonic. You make your character, and we made the Gamer Boy Lizard Man or whatever the fuck he was.
I think we made a hedgehog.
I don't know, whatever he was. But I remember that like this is another random thing. We've mentioned it. I don't know if we mentioned it on the show, but we've talked about it multiple times where. Like, it has, like, the clothes that you can unlock, and we found a shirt or a hat that said gamer.
A hat that said gamer.
And we're like, no, that like, we get this for kids, right? We get it for kids, but not even kids wear this stuff. And I kid you not.
Yeah.
The next day, went to go get coffee, and there was this kid you not, that walked in with the shirt that said, I'm a gamer, and I'm like, this world is a simulation. You can't tell me otherwise anymore.
Zoomer kids that grew up with like the Minecraft YouTube era and like Epic and Let's Go, you know what I mean? Like, that's great. I mean, hey, that's great. That's great.
They're the ones who are going to save us, so we need to cheer for them. They're the gamers.
That's great.
So
I'm glad that you're happy. Me, if I said I'm a gamer, it'd be like, oh yeah, you're fat, huh? That's it. That's it.
Oh, World of Warcraft? Fucking dork.
People call me a slur if I say I'm a gamer.
Exactly. We come
so
from
I'm glad
two
you get to
different
wear
generations.
a t-shirt that just says, I'm a gamer. Good for you.
Yeah. That we sound like the when like dad is always like, back when I wanted to go to school, I had to walk 2 miles uphill every day. You didn't know what it's like. Now we're like, you didn't know what it's like being a gamer in 2004.
You know how hard it was to pirate shit? Took forever. You wanted to play a new game. Oh my god. And then you get me started on like porn. No, I'm kidding. These kids have it too easy. They're trying to cancel the Lola Bunny.
That's true. I'm very upset. God damn it.
God. What is with gamers these days and being just upset all the time, right?
We started off this episode being like, Pokemon sucks. I think we're the real toxic ones. That's what I'm saying. These Zoomers, man, they're going to save us. I believe. If you're a Zoomer listening to this, thank you for your time.
No, if you're a Zoomer listening to this, Devin thanked you. I'm not thanking you.
I'm protect. I saw a tweet that someone said, I think it was some like TikTok thing or something, and it was like cringy or something, and like the tweet was like, "This is why Zoomers are going to behead everyone over 35 in a couple years." And I'm like, holy shit, that's true, because they don't give a fuck. Zoomers are
the only Zoomer anti-millennial thing I've seen Zoomers make fun of millennials for is the Harry Potter obsession of like, which house am I in type of shit. Is like, who gives a fuck?
It's funny though, is that like the cutoff date for Zoomers is like 96. We're both 95, right. So we're like, I always say I'm half Zoomer, half millennial.
No, I'm not a Zoomer.
I've learned to embrace y'all. I don't agree with everything you do, but at least you have passion, and that's something that our generation lacks because we've given up already. We given up on Sonic, but you haven't. You haven't given up on Sonic, and that's what we love.
The world gave up on me. Republicans destroyed this country. This fucking planet's going to hell because people want to fucking mine Bitcoin art.
I don't even know what you're talking about anymore.
The crypto art? Have you heard about this?
No, I've not heard about crypto art. I don't.
Okay,
I don't follow.
So you know
crypto
you know what cryptocurrencies are?
Yeah,
stuff like Bitcoins. You know the beauty about the fucking internet is that you can make something limitless. There can be no limits to how many copies of a movie that you can buy digitally or a video game you can download. It's limitless because digitally there's nothing there. There's nothing physical, right? Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, there's technologies to make something limited online, right? Just very basic idea. There is a scarcity of a thing, therefore it has value to certain people. It market trades it, right? That's what Bitcoin.
So
and
you're selling paintings.
What crypto art is like, oh, I've used this technology to put this art piece. There's only 5 of them. That's what that is.
We're a simulation.
Yes. You guess what, Devin?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know the racist frog? You know the racist frog.
You mean the frog that was turned racist, or racist frog that's racist?
Hey, guess what? People aren't born racist. They choose to become racist.
Did the frog choose to become racist? I don't think so.
Whatever. But you know what I'm talking about. The racist frog.
Pepe.
Right? Yep. I wasn't going to say the name, but thank you. You know the whole 4chan, 8chan culture of like awful, the racist people that use that kind of the rhetoric and imagery and blah 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 blah. Right. Apparently, in that culture, there has been this. I don't want to call it like a trading card type of thing because maybe that's giving it too much credit. This market for Pepe art has now become crypto art. Devin, what if I told you this man sold this JPEG, this low-res JPEG of Homer Simpson painted green to make him look like Pepe the Frog? He sold this, and it kind of looks like a trading card. That's why I call it a trading card. He sold this for $230,000.
That's not that much.
$230,000 for a JPEG that has no value until it becomes scarce. Right? And I've seen artists, because I follow a lot of artists on Twitter, talk about like trying to get into it. Oh, you've seen the political cartoon of like, we should change society.
Matt Boris,
somewhat.
Right? Is that his name? Matt Boris?
Yeah, he said, oh yeah, I'm going to turn, like, that's going to be the first ever political cartoon to become NFT or crypto art. And then like he got dunked on. And then he looked into like, oh shit, why am I getting dunked on? Oh yeah, it's because the carbon emissions from mining bitcoins and other cryptocurrencies and crypto art is destroying this planet. It's using up so much energy. The amount of energy used to farm Bitcoin all last year is more energy than Argentina used all last year.
Hell yeah.
Right? It's more than many countries. This is because people are just buying all these graphics cards to mine this shit.
Internet,
so that guy bounced off of that.
The internet
and
was
a
mistake.
I follow artists
dude.
that talking about that. So like, the Zoomers, they brought GameStop back, but turns out they actually thought they were the Wolf of Wall Street, and then it wasn't. Like,
I don't think that's all. I don't think those are Zoomers. Zoomers don't have any money because they're all in college.
See, I always still think of Zoomers as high school kids or younger.
They're
but I guess
96. These people just graduated college a couple years ago. So they're all in debt.
Sure, it's not like 98.
It's 96, what I've read. Maybe 97, but it doesn't. I'm saying though, it's only I graduated in 2017, and I'm 95. So, you know what I mean. So it's it's.
You were born in the year 1995. You're not 95 years old.
I'm 95 years old, and that's why I don't understand Sonic.
It's so fascinating and frustrating is Zoomers, for some reason, not getting things that we love as millennials. I don't understand, why is SpongeBob funny? Shut the fuck up. SpongeBob is funny.
There's Zoomers who love SpongeBob. Plenty of Zoomers who love SpongeBob.
Yeah, they like the memes. They weren't there. They weren't there.
But now you're being you're no better than the one before. We're becoming the ones that we hated. That's why we have to embrace the Zoomers.
Listen,
I'm telling you, they're going to save us all.
We will never become the generation we hated because we're poor. We're not going to be 80s Republicans. I'm sorry. We're poor.
But that's what I'm saying. That's why we have an alliance with the Zoomers. That's what I'm saying. That's why
it's been an hour and a half.
I know, and that's why. And that's I'm going to tie it all back. Ready? And that's why when the Sonic sequel comes out, Zoomers are the ones who are going to bring it to the promised land. That's why it's going to be good, and that's why I'm not buying a Switch too. And what else did we talk about? Oh, Pokemon.
Final Fantasy VII.
Zoomers don't like Pokemon because they're tired of the bullshit. Final Fantasy VII. They're like, psh. I'm not playing the OG, so I don't care what's in this DLC. They're like, psh. I like my Fortnite. Fuck you. Season 8.
You know what pissed me the fuck off? And I had no right to be pissed off. I was in the wrong to be pissed off with this man's opinion or this person's opinion on Twitter. I had no right to be pissed off, but I was. Right? Someone made a very well done, fan made, obviously, surprise character reveal trailer for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. New character is the Among Us guy, and it was a very well done trailer. He animated him as if he was playing in the game, and it was a cool trailer, right? And I'm scrolling through the comments underneath it, and I see this fucking comment that says, "Wow, this is really good. I love this. I would take any of the DLC characters and replace them with this one, except for maybe Minecraft Steve." And I'm like, fucking Sephiroth came out in December. You shut the fuck up.
No, it's because you're old. No one cares about Sephiroth.
Shut the fuck. I'll get rid of all of them except for Minecraft Steve.
It's time.
Are you fucking kidding me?
It's time
they put Banjo-Kazooie in this game. Oh wait, you don't know who he is. They put the Persona kid in
Doesn't
there.
Matter. Doesn't matter. It's
the
over,
game's
Ethan.
Homophobic. Well, that's
our
true.
generation. It's over, dude. We have to accept reality. It's Roblox, Minecraft, Fortnite.
They put Sephiroth in Smash Brothers. Why aren't you excited about this, Zoomers?
Sonic.
This is the coolest character
that's what I'm saying.
of all
Sonic is the
time.
one that ties all our generations together. He's always been bad.
God, I saw when Sephiroth was announced for Smash Brothers. You and I watched that live. Saw people, Zoomers on Twitter, being like, "Who the fuck is this person? And why is it not the fucking Fortnite guy, Jonesy?"
I love it. I fucking
why? Oh, and you know how so there's like 8 or 9 Fire Emblem characters in Smash Brothers. All these boys and girls with wearing capes and they're holding swords, anime swordsmen, basically, right? And the meme that is people are always upset, like, why do they keep adding more anime swordsmen? And I saw so many people, so many Zoomers, they're fucking young kids, being like, "Oh, so this anime swordsman's okay, but I can't have my hot anime babe from Fire Emblem." Yes, this is okay. It's Sephiroth.
I think this episode's just turned into Ethan can't accept that, like, no one gives a fuck about the Zoomers don't give a fuck. We're all gonna die out, and then there's gonna be Zoomers who are like, "Hey, but Fortnite though." But that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to tie it back to Sonic, is that Sonic has been before our generation, and he sucked. He's been with us, and he sucked. And then in the cycle, it goes back to the cycle. I think it's the episode. I don't know what we're going to call this episode, but I think maybe it'd just be the Sonic cycle, because we've done a year.
Depression.
We've done roughly 2 years of this show. I don't know how long it's been.
Yeah.
And it came to a point.
April
This
of
is the first
2019.
episode where we really didn't have anything to talk about, and that is the Sonic cycle. We don't know what to do anymore with Sonic because he sucks.
Well, like next week, we're probably gonna watch Monster Hunter. But yeah, no, this has been another episode of the Sonic Movie Show.
Just another one.
Fuck
If
it.
this is the first one that someone
the Sonic
listens
Cycle
to,
will
holy
be the
shit.
name of this episode. This is the first time, Devin, and I feel ashamed saying this to you because this is like me admitting that I don't find you all that brilliant.
Wow.
It's the first time it's the first time you suggested an episode title that I actually agree with. We're gonna call this the Sonic Cycle.
We'll see you in maybe 2 years when we run out of ideas again.
Yeah, follow the show on Twitter at Sonic Movie Show. You follow me on Twitter at Ethan Absolutely, but I want to fucking hear about like your hatred of Sephiroth. Follow Devin on Twitter at CURSON.
Zoomers, feel free. Feel free to follow me. I'll embrace you. He won't.
We'll talk about Sonic stuff, I guess, if you ask us on Twitter. Maybe. I don't know. I don't really want to like plug my Twitch because it's kind of like self-indulgent, but I've been playing Sonic games, I guess.
Zoomers, go into this chat and tell them how great or how bad Sonic is and how bad Sephiroth is as well.
I actually have gotten kids, plenty of kids that I've seen in this, like the children love Sonic. It's the one thing he's consistent about is the kids love him.
No matter how bad.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Same thing with Michael Jackson, weirdly enough. We'll see you next week. We're going to watch Monster Hunter probably. If not, we've been very open and transparent this episode about future plans. Not all of them, though, because we got plenty more stuff on the horizon.
There's some.
Ouch. That hurt. Bye.
Au revoir.